Hi friends, for Math Workshop today we're going to talk about what happens if you need to share something like a pizza or a cookie or a cake and you want to share that with some friends. We will not have a seesaw activity today to go with this. Instead, you will just have your workshop video and then you can practice at home. The things you'll need for workshop today are Play-Doh. You can use the one that was in your bag, or if you have a different one, certainly you could use that. If you don't have Play-Doh left, maybe your Play-Doh got dried out, or you don't have any left anymore, that's okay. You could also just use crayon or pencil and paper to do this same thing, okay? And I will tell you exactly how that would work in just a little bit. The other thing you're going to need is something to cut with, okay? Because we're going to be sharing, and so we're going to be cutting. I have a popsicle stick, and maybe you have a popsicle stick at your house. You will not need a real knife, okay? So do not get a real knife at your house, okay? You can use popsicle stick if you don't have that. Maybe you have a play kitchen or play food and there's like a little knife or even a fork, the handle of a fork that you could use. If you don't have those things, you could use the end of a pencil. Sometimes that can work good, like the end of a pencil for sort of cutting. Okay, so anything like that. If you still can't figure it out, check with someone at home to see if they can help you make a plan for something that you can use for cutting Play-Doh. Okay, Play-Doh is very soft, so it doesn't need to be sharp. Okay, I'm going to bring you right over here by my work mat because that is where we're going to be doing our work today. Oh, you can't see me, so let's do that. Okay. So I want you to think, today we're going to be talking about what happens if you need to share something with one friend or two friends. And I know we've all been at home, so it's kind of fun to think about when we are back together again with our friends and that kind of a thing. Maybe not in the classroom, but just at the park or at a play date or something like that. When those things are safe to happen again, then maybe there would be a snack and you would have to share it. So let's imagine that we have a giant cookie and we're going to have to share it, okay? So I have some Play-Doh here and I am going to make my giant cookie, okay? My giant cookie. So the first thing, let me move you down now so you can see. The first thing I did is kind of make it into a sphere. But now, remember Play-Doh Smash? I'm kind of going to Play-Doh Smash it, okay? That was a fun game. We could play that again, huh? That was a good one. So I kind of smashed it, and now I'm going to use my fingers, my thumbs and my fingers underneath it to continue to push it and flatten it out so that I want it to be pretty flat because remember, I'm going to be cutting it, and so I want to be sure that it's not too thick because that makes it harder to cut. Thick is when it's big. I want it kind of thin, right? Thick, thin. I want it thin. So I'm squishing and pushing until it's very, very flat, okay? And friends, if you look at that, you can see it's pretty flat. There's not very much here on the edge, okay? So I have flattened it out. I've made my cookie, okay? And I'm going to lay it here. Now I want you to be able to see, so I'm going to push it down even more. So I'm pretending that I have a cookie, okay? And it's my play date, and I'm very excited, and I'm going to pretend that I have invited my friend Mason over. So Mason, I'm so happy you're here, and I made this cookie, and I want to share it with you. I want to share it with you, okay? So let's decide. I need to make it into two pieces. So I'm going to cut it. Okay. Here I've cut it. And I have how many cookies? 2. I have cookies. 2 cookies. One for me and one for Mason. Is that fair? No, how come? How come? Yeah, this one is much bigger than this one. That's not fair. So I want to put these together. Now, friends, you can roll your Play-Doh back up into a ball and you can squish it again, and that is for sure really, really good for your fingers to be working like that. Or we can try to just kind of put it back together again and squish it back into a whole cookie. And that's what I'm going to try to do so that this video is not too long. Okay, so I'm really kind of squishing it back together. Okay, and I've made it back into a whole cookie again. So let's pretend again, because that was not really fair. Mason, I'm so glad you're here. I have this cookie for us, and I want to share it with you. A piece for you and a piece for me. So how many cookie pieces do I need? 2. I need 2. So I want to cut it, okay, in a way where I can share it with me and Mason, and I want it to be fair. Where should I cut it? In the middle? Does this kind of look like the middle? I could sort of make I think I'm going to make like just a little practice cut to see. I didn't press very hard. I just pressed very, very gently. I don't know if you can see that, but I pressed very, very gently just so that I can take a look to see, does this look fair? A piece for me and a piece for Mason? Yeah, that looks pretty fair. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish cutting it that way, and this time I'm going to use my popsicle stick to press down like that. So now I cut it again, a piece for Mason and a piece for me. How's that look? Much better. We cut them in half. So now each person gets a piece, and the pieces are about the same size. So we cut it in 2. We cut it in half. Okay? So once again, you can roll it in a ball and then flatten it out again. Okay? Or you can try to put it together. Okay? And see if, I don't know, if this one wasn't going together again. So I'm going to squish it all up, and I'm going to flatten it again. Okay? And I'm using my hands to flatten it. So we're going to try one more. Okay? And then I'm going to tell you what your job is. Okay? What your job is. All right, here again, I've made this cookie, and I'm playing Cookie Playdate, right? And this time, I'm going to invite some friends over with me. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to invite 3 friends over, because there are 3 friends plus me. That's 4 people all together. Friend, 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 me. That's 4 all together. So let me think. I'm going to invite 4 friends over, and we're going to play, and then we're going to have a cookie snack. Okay? The friends who came over to my play date today are, let me think, Macy, Silas, and Braden. Macy, Silas, and Braden. Hi, all of you. So glad you're here. And now, I want to cut this cookie so that we each have a piece. Any ideas? Let's see. I'm going to bring you back up here. I want to cut this cookie so we each have a piece. Macy and Silas and Braden and me. Okay, some friends are maybe thinking cut it into 4 kind of long pieces. Remember, we can use our knife to do that very, very gentle sort of a mark so we can see if that will make 4 equal pieces. Okay. Let's try this. I'm going to cut it the way I did when Mason and I had a play date, because that seemed to make sense. So I'm doing my gentle practice cut, and when I look at it, how many pieces do I have? 1, 2. Oh, that's not enough. Cut it again. Okay. Here in the middle. Okay. Now I made my practice cut. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, friends, I think we did it. I'm going to go ahead and cut those for real now. Okay, I'm putting the popsicle stick back on where those practice lines were, and then I'm just pushing a little harder. And this time, now what happened? Silas, piece for you. Macy, piece for you. Brayden, piece for you. And a piece for me. 4 pieces, and they all look about the same size. We made a cut in the middle and another cut in the middle this way, and it made us 4 pieces. Okay? Friends, I want you, with your Play-Doh, to practice, I'm going to see if you can see this, to practice doing some cutting. Make a flat cookie, and I want you to pretend who's at your house having a play date, and that you need to share this cookie with them. Okay? Moms and dads, if you wanted to further extend this, I would suggest not putting it back together and just asking if there's another way that they can cut it. Sort of encouraging that idea of, like, you may not know how many pieces you're going to end up with, but cutting it again, like on those diagonals, to see now how many friends can come over and share the cookie. Okay, so that's just for extended work. Otherwise, just continuing on with that cutting in half and then cutting again to create 4 pieces. But for my kids who are doing that pretty easily, cutting it again on those diagonals to see how many pieces you end up with there. Good luck.